Call this meeting to order. Will you take roll call, Marcia? Oh, our clerk? Either one.
Ben Holman, not present. Lucy
Huff, here.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Emily Kelly here. Sean LaFear
Here.
Derek Perry
Here.
Andrew Skibby, not present. We have a quorum.
I would take motion for approval of the agenda.
We add minutes to the consent.
Okay.
I don't know if that's on everyone's agenda or not, but the minutes of January 13th, 2025.
Amending the agenda to add minutes from the last meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Second. All those in favor of approval of the amended agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Did we say on putting that under consent?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda, which would include the financials for 2020, March 25, and then the minutes from last meeting.
We do have copies of those minutes if anyone wanted to review.
I'll make that motion. Second.
All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Public comment? Hearing none. No public hearings, no old business, so we'll move to new business. We have our South Neighborhood Improvement Authority proposed fiscal year 26 budget.
All right.
Okay.
If you looked at the budget, not a lot of line items. It's pretty slim. We have the revenue from property taxes, around $66,000, a little bit of interest there. And that is our revenue. Expenses are all related to bonds. We have debt service on this year, which is new for 26 because in the prior years, we've only been paying interest. So it jumps up this year, that $50,000 in debt service, and then the $25,000 of interest. There's also a $500 administrative cost, which is it goes to our bonding agent every year. But that's all the expenses. There's nothing as far as projects or I guess additional NIA money going towards anything else other than that debt we borrowed and are paying back over the next 15 years. Was there any questions on the fiscal year 26 budget? I'm happy to dive in as deep as you want. Pretty straightforward, and yeah, like I said, there's not a lot of meat to it.
It's debt service is what it is.
For the bonds.
You'll see that there's a little bit of we're using a little bit of fund balance to pay off. I think we built up fund balance the last couple of years, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, due to the agreement with Norfolk. We had to get a loan free loan from Norfolk. But the last couple of years, we built up a little fund balance, so we have the money to cover that gap. We should.
We see ourselves needing to do like next phase of the project soon.
Yes, matter of fact, we started talking about that. We're, from a planning standpoint, we're starting to look at what the next phase is. I mean, it probably won't be this year, but maybe
Okay.
next year.
Okay.
Building wise, we're in for permitting, just waiting to get the permits back on one side of the street, and I think we've applied or will be applying for the first unit on the other side of the street, so now we're starting to make our way back.
I figured you were close. I mean, that's a fold on the other side.
Yeah, so they're, I don't think things are looking good out there, starting to pick up, but yeah, so the next phase will be obviously a little more complicated than this first one, so we're starting to look at that, make sure are we still comfortable with the product? Are we still comfortable with everything? And we want to look to see if we change a few things, because if we're going to do it, now's the time to to do a unit count, everything will probably stay the same. It's just a product type. We get a lot of calls for single story ranch condos, so that was part of the overall plan, but that was in the back phases, so do we look to do something and try to bring some of those up into the next phase?
Follow that market.
That's, you know, Mark will dictate what we do.
Their Norfolk update.
I guess I'd kind of.
Oh, I can make that our Norfolk update.
I was like,
Yeah.
I know, there's really not, but I was just curious, even in terms of, because for the next phase, we would bond for that, right?
Yes, this phase was kind of a standalone bond and everything.
Have you been to planning commission for the next phase?
No, that's what I said. The next phase is got a little bit
More planning to do.
planning to do then. This phase was a existing platted
Yeah.
subdivision that we basically, laid a condominium over the top of an existing plat. So the next phase is, there's a lot more planning to do with it. So that's what I kind of started talking about now,
Yeah.
knowing that's going to take time to get through that process to.
Yeah. Do you know if that's planned out as like a PUD or?
The original thought, the original concept behind it was, yes, it was gonna be just a big PUD and kind of roll everything into it.
We'll waive that from that. So this is just kind of status quo.
yep,
So,
yeah, not, like I said, no activity is other than debt service. And we're not looking for you guys to do anything other than, if you're fine with it, you would accept it and I guess send it to council with your approval.
Well, with that clarity, I'll take a motion on approving or accepting the budget as presented.
I'll make a motion.
Just support.
All those in favor of accepting the budget for the fiscal year 26, say aye.
Hi.
Opposed? All right. Thank you. Any public comment on non-agenda items? Hearing none. Board reports. So will you bring next phase plans here to the NIA?
Yeah.
Because we have to approve those, I think, or something.
I would think the NIA would want to, look at the plans, approve the plans, make a recommendation, all of that, as we move into, city council would want to make sure that the NIA wants to support the project if they were to move forward with bonding and all that. So,
Right, okay.
and then there's the other permitting, planning piece of it too.
Right.
Like we still have our original overall layout that we, brought to the NIA and I think everybody's kind of seen that one.
Right.
Now it would be out of that, what is the next phase? What is carved out of that, which, we'd identify as phase 2. And then again, assuming that we kept every product the same, then we'd take that to the planning commission and, start that process.
Yeah, I wonder if there's things we could do to bring Emily up to speed too, just even like on, showing where we were at so far. I mean, phase 2 might be different, but so that way Emily's up to speed.
We just had the overall plan in a different folder. Might I didn't bring it.
You can get it to her separate, but
Yeah, we can,
You still have a copy of that?
I'm sure, I know that we've got,
If not, I can send one.
I've got the original in here somewhere.
I can send one.
Yeah.
Just purging some files today. Yeah, I don't need to bring that with me to it, do I?
I know. Well, and it's wild how much, time has passed, but then also now seeing them get picked up so fast is really wild because now you're building at a way quicker rate.
Yeah.
I walk by there a lot and it's just like wild how much happening.
Yeah, I took a picture a week or so ago on just seeing the mass of them, yeah.
And like I said, I think we're, they're waiting on getting the permits on the next 2 buildings and then, we'll start across the street. I think they're gonna start clearing across the street probably in the next week or so. So now you'll start seeing that
Nice.
come down, and then, we'll get to the last 2 units on that street. And we may have to redesign whole number 8's T-box a little bit, but
Right.
cross that bridge when we get there.
Golf course design when you're.
I got out here a little early today and walked out there. I was like, yeah, we're gonna be in the backyard here. We're gonna have to
Right.
change some things around.
Cool.
Trying to see if I could find that original document really quick, but. I didn't know the numbers, but we can send that out.
I'll
to
send
the
it
group.
to,
Any other board reports? Anything you want to share?
no, like I said, we're happy to see things pick up. Started out a little slow, but, things have definitely picked up. Activity breeds activity. So, the more we're building, the more activity is coming out there. Obviously, the hiring of the forward employees has helped significantly as well. So,
I think the big green flag on that project will be when they start hiring hourly. That's what I'm looking for. It's supposed to happen this month. So I'll be curious to see. I think that's when the whole gear is gonna shift into a higher gear, because that's just a massive hiring effort.
and they're still, as far as we know, on track to be spring of next year.
2026.
Yeah, they're installing equipment currently and doing coordination with fire suppression and equipment, all that kind of fun.
I used to be able to drive by and see, and then they built this big berm right there to keep
Yeah,
people like me from driving by and looking, see what's going on here. Right?
yep.
Once the ring road opens up though, I'll be looky-loo all day long.
Yeah, you might get a few looks if you just start driving around out there.
We are not good.
I was just gonna say, building department appreciates, that you're, submitting all your applications all together. It works out really nice
Good.
to get all of the permit applications at once. It might take us a little bit longer to process them at one time, but that way we know, everything that you're wanting to do, so.
Okay, great. Anything we can do different, just please don't,
No.
let us
yeah.
know. I mean, it's.
No, I think it's been going well. We've been using you as a, example of how people should do things. So, thank you.
Good, thank you.
The board reports?
Don't have any.
Emily, I'm in between.
Didn't bring anything with me this year. Okay, next time.
All right, well, with that, we can adjourn at 6:14.